Today's lesson reminds us that indeed there was a war in heaven. At the center of this war is the idea of, well, who's worthy of our worship? Do you worship the one who created you and then died to save you? Or do you worship the one who is a pretender to the throne? You know, the one who longs for our worship but isn't worthy of it. So, what does the war in heaven have to do, well, with the mark of the beast? Well, we have a saying here in North America: history tends to repeat itself. Meaning, the Bible tells us that the war that was fought in heaven is going to be fought one last time here on planet Earth. And the battle is going to be over the same issue: who is worthy of our worship? Revelation paints a scene where on one hand you have those who follow the beast, and they have his mark. Then you have those who follow God, and they have his seal. So how do you know if you have the mark of the beast or the seal of God? And the Bible says it's simple. It all depends on how and when you worship. You see, the Bible's clear on this. God says that when we worship him on the Sabbath, it is like a seal or a sign that tells the world we worship the God who created, well, the heavens and the earth. You see, Satan cannot claim the Sabbath as a day of worship for himself because he didn't create it. God created the Sabbath, and it belongs to him and to him alone. And he says that his end-time people will be a commandment-keeping people, meaning that they worship how and when he tells them to worship. This is why Satan can't claim the Sabbath as his own. Instead, he takes the day that is completely opposite of the Sabbath. He takes the first day of the week, Sunday. And when you worship on the first day of the week, that worship becomes a mark that tells the world that you worship a false god on his day of worship. At the end of time, there will be one last battle in which every human being will take a side. On one hand, you have those who worship the Creator when and how he tells them to worship. On the other side, you have those who will worship a false god on his false day of worship. At the end of time, what, who, and when you worship will be like a mark or a sign that will tell the world who your God truly is. And that was our nugget for today. Please have a look at your lesson. I'll see you tomorrow.